What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 38 here of Futbol on Full Heel, the number one soccer podcast in America. Just kidding. Maybe one day. My name is Frankie, joined by Johnny here in studio.
Yep.
Andres is on the Skype via
What
satellite, internet, whatever. And of course, the master of ceremonies, the founder of the Full Heel Network, Rafa, behind the keys back here.
With the air horn
In the back. And we'll get right into it today because there's a lot to talk about. Some say this is the biggest match in world football. It's El Clasico. But I'm finally going to agree with you guys and say that this Clasico and Spanish football in general has lacked a little bit of luster. Hasn't looked fantastic. And thus, this last weekend, we were treated to a 3-1 Real Madrid victory over FC Barcelona at the Camp Nou, at Barcelona. I got to watch this game pretty much in full. My personal reaction, the first 70 minutes or so were a pretty good match. It was back and forth, a lot of attacking. And then Real Madrid got the penalty and took control of the match from there on out and saw it through. And kind of solidified it with that Modric goal at the end. That was the dagger, right?
It was more than a dagger. It was a straight.
So, yeah, those are my thoughts on
It's
it. Go ahead.
disrespect. That was
Whoa.
disrespect right there.
Well,
What that was.
Straight into who's hot and who's not. Barca is not hot to me, bro. I think they got a lot to figure out. And it was clear that, I mean, coming into the game, I kind of didn't give a fuck how crazy. Because I was like, to me, Spain has, for a while, the Clasico hasn't really...
Johnny's got no love for Spain right now.
Yeah, right now, no love, bro.
No love
the
for Spanish
Clasico
soccer.
for me has not been getting it up, you know, for like wanting to see the game, and that's, to be honest with you, it wasn't an amazing game. I don't know. I think Barca has a lot to figure out, and I mean, none of their young attacking talent and expensive players on the bench made anything happen. Madrid was the better team, I think. But Ramos got that penalty. I mean, I think it was what we expected, kind of. At least me. I think it just says that Madrid is the same team as last year, though. Just kind of defensively good, and Barca's not good enough to me. I don't know. I don't see no answers, but it's going to be a long season for them.
Well, before I let you chime in, Andres, I talked about the end of the match a little bit, but I forgot to mention that the game started brilliantly. In the first 10 minutes, it was 1-1. Fede Valverde scored for Real Madrid on the break. Great finish for him. Energetic midfielder there. Made it 1-0 before Jordi Alba crossed the ball to Ansu Fati, talk about who's hot. The young man stays hot for Spain, for Barcelona, in Champions League, in La Liga. Doesn't matter. He stays scoring goals right now. And he made it 1-1. And then we didn't see a goal again until the Sergio Ramos penalty. How can I forget to mention that too, right? Ramos wins a penalty and then converts it as he usually does.
Beast.
I guess we'll start with that because I know how Johnny feels about it. But what do you think about that penalty? Clearly a penalty, right, Andres? It kind of kills me to admit it, but anytime you go pulling shirts in the box, it's a PK, right?
Yeah, and then I think if we look at last season, VAR was kind of on Madrid's side, so I think that's kind of the pattern moving forward. Even if it was questionable, I think most people would probably say that's a penalty.
Well, since you mentioned it, Koeman brought that up too, right? Ronald Koeman said that Barcelona's been on the wrong end of all the VAR decisions so far. I think he might even get fined by La Liga for saying that. But yeah, no, Real Madrid did have a hot streak with the VAR, right? So, I guess Johnny wants to qualify both of the teams as not hot, right? I would definitely say Real Madrid.
I do, yeah.
It's hard, right? Because, look, Madrid won the Clasico, which, I mean, I guess I don't want to say it was unexpected. It could have gone either way, honestly.
I think we have to note that Barca's center back got injured, and they lost a lot of pace in the midfield when De Jong had to move back.
Andres,
they also
I
What?
wanted to ask. I asked
But
Frankie.
that was in the Champions
Yeah,
League though, right?
but I asked Frankie
Oh, it was champions.
coming into the Clasico, who needed to win the game more?
It was Madrid.
Yeah, and we kind of didn't think about it, but I mean, it still kind of sucks that even though Madrid needed the game more, I thought Barca would win and they didn't. So
It was the same
it's the
situation last
yeah,
year.
exactly, and it's the same flaws that they have since last year. Madrid can attack if it's not through Benzema, and Barca just is a mess, and the mid is not there.
Look, it's not there yet.
It hasn't been there.
Like
forever.
Johnny, I don't see. It's not that there hasn't been anything concrete, but I can kind of start to see some things happen, right? So one thing that is clear is that the team no longer runs completely through Messi, right? We're seeing him not involved in matches as much, which I think may be a good thing, right? Kind of saves him up. He already picks his spots anyway, right? He's pretty kind of, should I say, conservative until he's kind of got a read on the game and decides where he's going to attack, right? He doesn't run around a whole lot anyway, right? Which I think is good. The team is far too dependent on him, so they're learning to play through Coutinho, right? Obviously, getting more end product out of Fati as well. But that's the other thing. He's relying heavily on youth. We're seeing a lot of Pedri right now. He finally looked good in the Champions League. In the Clasico, he didn't look great. But the thing is, I'm starting to see the youth. He's a presser. One thing that Barcelona had lost in the last couple years is really the energy and the dynamism and really the pressure from the mid, right? And from the attackers or from the team in general. They just grew too slow. So these young guys that he's playing, the Pedris, the Trincao off the bench, Ansu Fati, these guys are doing a lot of defensive work and a lot of work off the ball, which Barcelona has been lacking. And a lot of running off the ball as well is something that Johnny brought up. So it's not there yet, and there's still a lot of question marks, but I kind of respect that, right? I don't know if playing Pedri all year is going to yield anything, right? A lot of times we'll start seeing younger players tail off as the season progresses, right? Because they're not used to the grind of it all. But I can see why he would do that, right? And then he threw in Dest too, and Dest is not only young, he's coming from, Dutch soccer.
He played well.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of hard to find positives in a 3-1 loss, right? But
I think the most starking difference now is that we can't expect Messi to come up big in these games anymore. I think he's kind of taking a step back and kind of letting the whole team move at its own pace.
To your point, he doesn't have a single goal from open play yet. All of his goals have been from the penalty spot.
Yeah, and you don't know. I don't know how much that is whether he's not invested in the team or his heart is somewhere else, his mind somewhere else. Maybe.
See, I already told you guys that.
I disagree with that because he's looked lively. He's in so he was involved in the match yesterday against Juventus. He would have had a couple of assists, if not for better finishing, from his teammates. He has floated in and out of some other matches, and I can kind of see how he might not look pleasant, how he might be kind of sulking on the field, but at the same time, I think that's just part of them trying to play elsewhere, right?
So my bad. I already said for Barca, like they're only gonna go as far as everyone else takes them. Messi is not like gonna be. You know what reflects this is what you like. Frankie's like it was kind of entertaining, and I was like, why? Because both teams had the ball. I think what Frankie points out that Barca don't play a certain way is reflected in like this is like the first time the Clásicos are like 50-50 on possession, And for me, Barca is not gonna win unless they get like their French guys firing. Dembele and Griezmann need to be scoring for them. I'm not gonna count on Pedri and I'm Fati to be the guys that are gonna win the championship for them or go far in the Champions League. Barca's not gonna do good unless their good players do good or their expensive signings do good. A small bright spot is I think Pedri is pretty good, and they kind of got one with Araujo. He started over Piqué too, right in the weekend or in the Champions League, but he's not too bad, and he's giving me some hope. But I think what showed was that Madrid have better players overall to win a league and be more competitive. They have a better idea of what they're doing still. So, but they're
Well,
not
in the
hot at all
last like,
either.
and yeah, they're both hot shit. We could say that, but in the last 5 years, they've pretty much had a lot of good transfers. I think one of the big things also is that Bartomeo's out.
Oh
His
yeah,
board resigned,
good point. I'm glad you brought that
Oh
up.
damn,
so
He
damn.
now
was
the team can kind of move on, and we'll probably see
Yeah,
some improvement, or
yeah.
we
Will
hope.
Messi get motivated? Yeah, that's kind of a bright spot too. You're right.
Can I
Yeah,
just say
big
though,
bright spot.
he would resigned on Monday, and he resigned after they had the 20,000 plus signatures voting for no confidence against him, and after he couldn't get the Catalan government to stop the vote from proceeding because he tried to get it stopped for health reasons. He said it was dangerous he was trying to get it stopped because of COVID, essentially.
Hmm.
And after that failed, that's when he had exercised all his options and he had to resign. The writing was on the wall. So that happened on Monday, and then they played in the Champions League yesterday on Wednesday. So the times they are changing at Barcelona. We'll see how that continues to evolve. But I got to say, for both teams, it's hard for me to say who's hot and who's not, right? Because one won in the league on the weekend and then tied in the Champions League. The other lost in the league on the weekend and then won in the Champions League, right? So I guess they were like, maybe lukewarm, right? Devios, right? All right there. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of either project there, but I will kind of start agreeing with you guys. I'll give you guys a little bit of rope when I say that the Spanish league is looking a little
Bro,
limp.
Sevilla or Atletico gonna win the league, not Barca or Madrid,
Hey,
right?
make things a little interesting.
Yep.
Atletico was the last team not from the Clasico, right? The big two to win it. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit long before I say who's hot and who's not, right? Dembele keeps scoring. He's got 2 goals now, right? His latest goal comes off a wicked deflection.
He hasn't looked good though. I don't know.
No, his decision making.
Neither has Griezmann. How I said.
Yeah, Griezmann isn't looking good either. He doesn't look. Well, I mean, he's getting into good positions, I guess, and starting to link up with Messi, which is promising. But he's squandering chances too.
And kind of to bring it back to Madrid a little bit too, because they're both. Frankie, I'm gonna tell you, they're both definitely not hot. Like both of them are sucking.
Yeah, no, I know.
And
But they're definitely. I mean, if you win a Clasico and then beat Juventus,
no,
you're not necessarily not hot either. You know.
You'd be smoking hot if you won the Clasico and then beat Juventus.
Normally.
No, you would.
But Juventus isn't even a whole ass project to begin with either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's been clear too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to jump into that, but
Pirlo
Juventus
his
did
first
not
year.
look like a team at all either.
Against Barcelona.
No, I was. You
Yeah.
know what I was gonna bring up? How Real they have concerns too with their offense. That you saw that video. Benzema was talking shit supposedly about Vinicius to not pass it to him because he can't finish and he's not on the squad or for the team. This guy Courtois and Benzema having a full on conversation. This guy's in front of him.
Controversy.
Will was telling Mendy, yeah, he was telling
And
Mendy, he's like,
Mendy,
don't
I'm
pass him the
sorry.
ball.
But Courtois all in the mix. And I also heard that Isco is like definitely not happy. That he was on the sidelines too, just like
mocking Zidane.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's not the first time this stuff happens.
Do you think Zidane's losing his dressing room now?
I think he's not gonna have enough motivated players to go as far as he wants to when they barely can score at all.
I mean, at some point, it happens to every manager. You win so much that you kind of just zone out what they have to say, and maybe this might be the end.
Well,
kind of like what Pep had at Man City in a way.
Well, again, after they won in the Clasico, they went on to tie 2-2 to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Champions League, and that was again they got by the skin of their teeth, right? They now have just 1 point in the Champions League. Granted, it's only been 2 matches in, but yeah, it's hard to. I think it's hard to call either way, right? And it is concerning. Maybe, I don't know if Hazard is the answer, right? But they're saying he's getting healthy. Maybe he changes things up in that front three a little bit.
I don't know, because of all the aforementioned problems that we have for both teams, I don't consider any of them that well off. That's why me and Andres are on that club, bro. The Sevilla or Atletico are going to win the league.
Well, since you bring Atletico, they look kind of hot in the Champions League, right?
Yeah,
Or at
let's
least
do
in
it.
the second half, no?
While we're on them, right? At least giving some love to the Spanish league. I think they played RB, right?
Salzburg, yep, the
And
Austrian team.
and oh, the Austrian team.
And they were down 2-1 at one point.
Yeah, I think the big talking point is just it's all is this like it happened earlier with another star that we'll get to later, but Joao Felix finally he looked like amazing, you know? He looked like
Mhm.
what you paid for. 2 goals and Atletico scored, and I think I think from here going up, this could be the moment that Felix kind of takes that next step for me. And I think Atletico is interesting, and they have Simeone, and they got players too. But um, it was a crazy game. It was one of the better games I think during the week. RB was they tied two. They were down I think at one point. Atletico, even though
Yeah, they were down 2-1 at one point.
even though they started up, but I think they're hot. Yeah, just because Felix was so good that game, and I don't know what their league form was. What was their league form then from the weekend? They probably won too. So I'd
I
like,
think Suarez scored over the weekend.
or actually, what's that table looking like? The Spanish table.
Sociedad's on top,
Yep.
and then
Crazy
you have a
times.
couple other. Then you have a couple other teams that you probably wouldn't.
Getafe for sure. See,
Um.
it's a weird time right now in the
You have
Spanish
well,
league.
you have a couple teams that are a couple games at hand. Atletico Madrid has 2 games at hand.
Wow,
If they
that's a
win
lot.
both, they would be top of the table. But they haven't lost. They've won 3 and drawn 2. But you have Sociedad, Madrid, Granada, Villarreal,
Mm. Well,
based on
yeah,
the games that they played.
I just thought, yeah, that Felix played real good, so we'll give him a little shout out for who's hot right now.
Who's not hot? I got to bring it back just a little bit, guys,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
we talked about the team as a whole not being a finished article and not being hot in general, right? Juventus.
Mm.
But CR7 failed a third COVID test, guys. I've talked to a lot of people now, not a lot, but a couple friends, kind of half joking, half serious, and they think this is a conspiracy now.
What?
Weston
Against
McKennie,
them.
who was also on Juventus, tested positive, but has since tested negative and started playing again. But CR7 keeps testing positive. What the hell? Missed another match. Would it have made a difference, you think?
Definitely. Hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Having
Most
CR7,
definitely.
yes.
I think it was
You
just one of those games where Juve wasn't going to score. VAR ruled out what 2 or 3 goals for them, so
A
it
hat
just wasn't
trick
going to
of
happen
goals
from
from
Morata.
yup. Who's
you would
not
have a more inspired team performance just from the from CR7's character.
He'd give him a
yeah.
boost.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
easily. It's like
Yeah.
having Messi on your team. Even if he's 50%, the whole team is gonna play.
So
To
then
his level.
he clearly then did break those protocols then, right? If he's still testing positive, they're investigating whether he broke COVID protocols in Italy because how the hell is he
He's
still testing positive?
Well, I don't know
yeah, I
how
don't
it
know.
works if he gets exposed to it again, he gets positive. It's not just based off time.
I don't know, man. I
Or
don't
the longer
understand
you
it.
don't self isolate.
It's pretty crazy at this point.
Well, regardless, both teams are not hot. I think. I don't think Juve really plays that well.
Yeah, they're
It's Pirlo's first season.
not hot either.
The
Yep.
game was not exciting to me. I know Frankie says that Griezmann looked well. I saw Barca kind of was good on offense. Messi played pretty well. Um, but it was Griezmann hit the post, but Barca won kind of comfortably because of a lot of those VAR decisions, man, and like the calls kind of being super specific. Let me re-put that game, but yeah, I don't think Juve's that great. Chiesa didn't have a good game, right? Did he play? Dybala was nowhere to be found.
Hmm.
I don't know what your guys' take was
Yeah,
on
I
Juve.
think Pirlo was trying to expose Barca, but the players kind of weren't up to what he was trying to do. I think there's videos of Pedri taking Cuadrado because Cuadrado was playing a little further up. Morata had 3 disallowed goals. So that was, unfortunate, but he didn't put those away. I think
Yeah.
they're missing. quality pieces, and they just need time. I mean, this is a new project, new manager. It always takes time. I mean, you didn't expect top coach to will this team to a Champions League final in the first season.
Yeah,
So I think this is just like the growing pains, I guess, of the team. And unfortunately, you have quality star players on the team that are going to suffer.
I think that's definitely what you come to expect when you hire a legend and see other coaches like Zidane and
Pep.
player coaches getting results right away or getting like success. So I don't know. I
We're
would have
also in a
thought
new era where we
I
have no patience.
well I thought that Pirlo coming into the like coach Juve, he would try to get some players that play like him in the midfield, to bring some of that identity back to Juve. I'm sorry.
I,
Hmm.
And he kind of didn't. He got Weston McKennan
McKinney.
of
Well,
McKennie. Yeah, to me, I mean that's a whatever buy, but he's not anything different than any of the other midfielders that they already possessed. So that's what makes me think like I don't know what Pirlo really was doing. I mean,
Hmm.
I would have thought he got our boy Tonali for sure. Like
he went to
then
Milan.
then yeah, then I would have been like, damn, that's some Pirlo ass shit right there, and it wasn't.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't. I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait to judge them, or I'll wait to call their fate until I see a little more. But they
I
they
mean, I don't know what kind of project or what timeline they gave Pirlo, but definitely, like you said, he's not on a Barca Champions League level, even if this is a bad Barca team. Like, they still have pedigree, and this Juve team doesn't have that pedigree yet. And just to touch on the Atleti, yeah, I think they're hot, but I think what we're seeing is that it's not the whole attack isn't falling on Felix anymore with Suarez. I think Suarez kind of burdens, some of the offense now, and he kind of mentors him. It kind of helps to have a world class player on the team where you can kind of look up to, like, he's won everything. So I don't know if last season they had anyone that was on like that level, but
Yeah,
it's
no.
definitely gonna help him this season to kind of push past whatever was limiting him last year if he can stay healthy.
So quick recap for you all then. So
Yeah.
far we're saying not hot. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus. Not hot. Hot. Atleti, maybe?
yeah
Right?
maybe
If you want to talk about hot as far as, I guess, maybe score lines go, Manchester United, y'all. Coming off a 0-0 draw against Chelsea, which was controversial for all the wrong reasons. VAR once again in the headlines in England last weekend because Harry Kane, or sorry, Harry Kane, Harry Maguire straight up like headlocked Aspilicueta, the Chelsea defender, in the box, um, and somehow everybody on the from the assistants to the VAR missed it, didn't even think to check it, but it was clearly a midair tackle, and somehow United escaped 0-0, and then they bounced back by man, just slapping RB Leipzig, which was surprising, guys. I actually would have had Leipzig. We picked Leipzig. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I can't
Mhm.
remember. I did. I'm pretty sure.
I definitely did.
Now, I don't want to take anything away from this win because I think they looked pretty good in spots. And winning in the Champions League is, I mean, it's important, right?
Yeah.
But three of those goals, three or four of them were really late in the game, kind of fluky. But Pogba looked good. We saw Fernandez and Van der Beek, the three of them playing in the mid. I don't know if that's something to build on. Mason Greenwood looks like he has to be played, right? Johnny swears that first one is offside.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Definitely is. Have you seen that one, Andres?
Yeah, I saw it. I don't know if it wasn't.
That's
I didn't see
clearly offside to me.
the slow motion replay, but well, it was questionable to be
It
honest.
Hold on, real quick before you continue. I think there's an error, Raffle. Oh, it's still going. All right, my bad. Continue. Proceed.
I mean, I think the main takeaway, which yeah, I'll classify Man U right now as hot. I mean, they beat PSG. they tied against Chelsea, and then they won against RB in a straight 5-0. So I think what we're seeing is actually, I mean, Gunnar is doing good. Props to him. I've been talking mad crap, but so what Manu look seems like they're doing is that they're kind of rotating two squads, and they're like, we kind of use Pogba sometimes, and then we don't, and then we use these forwards, and then we don't, and they're kind of using like a 5-3-2. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but I like I like Greenwood. I like Greenwood, and Marshall's clicking with Rashford, and Rashford is super hot right now.
Had a
So
hat trick in this
So
one.
yeah,
so
and
would you say this is more Ole being tactical, or is it just the players are responding to the formations?
you want me to go? I think it's him finding
Yeah.
that balance in the mid.
And we still,
It's clicked for him now
you
in
know
the
what,
mid.
just clicked for me. We still haven't even really seen Cavani.
Yeah.
Fuck,
We brought that up last week too.
that's
Andre brought
crazy.
it up.
Imagine.
But their main weakness is the same thing. It's gonna come down to like their center backs and how good Lindelof and like Maguire can be.
Now it's Axel Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe has played two
Oh,
or three
yeah, you
matches,
see?
right? And he's been
Yeah.
playing pretty well, the youngster there.
Yeah. And the more you look at it, like, man, you have the depth in the midfield, but they can't play certain players at the same time. I guess that's what I want to say.
Yeah, no.
And
Yeah.
it looks like Gunnar has figured it out because he's like, all right, if I'm going to play Van der Beek, I can't play Pogba and Fernandez. Or at least
He did today.
he has options of how he wants to start and plan out against certain teams, and he's showing Manu's doing well, and they're scoring goals.
So they have different players of different quality. That's what I'm saying. Are we not giving Ole enough credit now as being a tactical coach on par with Klopp and Pep and those coaches,
I
or
need
is
to
it
see more consistency, I think. Because,
okay?
well, I do agree with you. Like, he used Daniel James against Chelsea, right? And when was the last time we saw Daniel James? But he's fast as hell, right? So I can kind of see why he brought him in. And then, brought on the subs that he did. I think we saw Mata in that game too, right? We've been seeing a lot of Mata. So I guess he's getting as much as he can out of everybody, which, like Johnny has pointed out many times, and I think we're starting to agree, the run of games this year especially is going to be crazy considering that they were off for 3 months because of COVID or whatever it was, and then all of a sudden we're playing freaking 4 matches every 7 days. It's crazy right now what the run of games is, right? They play on the weekend for the league and then in the Champions League, and it don't stop. I mean, I'm kind of happy, right? Because Champions League continues right away next week, and God, do we need it because it's election day next week. So God knows we'll need some sort of distraction from that craziness.
America.
But yeah, United going from, I guess, strength to strength right now. I'll be the first to admit that I'm a little bit tough on them and on Solskjaer in particular, but they do. I also kind of was riding them high this weekend, this season. Coming into the season, I had them into the top 4 possibly. I think I was a little bit higher on them than you guys were, but who knows? We need to see the consistency now, right? That's what we need to see. We need to see them getting together. And quick shout out to Fred, right? Fred, who looked like a flop, a 50 million pound flop, is kind of proving himself undroppable lately, right? I think you brought it up, Johnny, right? He's been playing pretty well, right?
I think he has been playing well, but more importantly is that man, you have the depth there in the center defensive mid position. They have Matic, they have Fred, and they have McTominay. So they can kind of take their pick. Like, Fred has been on some form though, so yeah, I guess shout outs to Fred. But
You know who is hot though? Rashford.
yeah,
We mentioned the hat trick, absolutely, and quick shout out to him, the lad. He's just a all around good person. Still petitioning the UK government there, the English government, to help feed families, in particular children in need, right? And I think Boris Johnson, the prime minister there, said that they can't help, they weren't going to help. But last I read, he had over 1 million signatures of people there who were trying to push for that to happen. So making a difference on and off the field, man. So shout out to Marcus Rashford. Good to see him. Johnny mentioned it, that the way that he finishes, man, is emphatic. He's just got so
Yeah,
much
good
power
word.
and just precision. And it's crazy because you know what? Mason Greenwood finishes the same way. He can finish with both feet.
Simple with it. He has that killer goal, the touch. But yeah,
The last player to score a hat trick off the bench for United was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
yeah,
And
So
Solskjaer, he made a career out of being a super sub. Let's not forget.
yeah,
He's famous more than anything for coming off the bench and scoring the goal to bring United the treble, their first treble in 1999. Yep.
Champions League.
Now, before we proceed to another team who stays smoking hot, quick shout out to the boys in the chat. We got the Squid, a.k.a. Mr. Tucanazo, big Liverpool fan. Shout out to him. We got Dead Caesar.
yeah. Tell us who's hot and who's not.
Well, hey, look,
Who
I'm
you
going to tell
guys
you.
wanna-
Hold
yeah.
on. Let me tell you who's hot. Some promo here. We don't have any sponsors yet, but Redication Volume 1. If you haven't checked it, check that shit out on SoundCloud. Our boy Dead Caesar, Son Caesar. This shit is hot. Contrary to popular belief, he does have some songs out, so you need to peep them. The shit is hot. It was
Yeah.
cooking for months. It's ready. Check it out. And leave a comment. Tell them that Football and Full Heel sent you.
Yeah, if you need something to keep you hot in the winter, throw on that Redication Volume 1.
The fucking Redication.
Yeah.
But
It was
yeah,
a red summer, and it's gonna continue.
it's gonna continue, bro. Yeah, like Bayern Munich, they're continuing their role, right? It looked like Lokomotiv Moscow was gonna give them a little bit of trouble. They scored a nice goal on the counter on the break. Johnny's still not completely sold, I think, but they just go from strength to strength, right?
No, I'm giving him the hottest designation right now. I
Lewandowski
think
scored
so.
a hat trick over the
Yeah.
weekend against Frankfurt. Frankfurt isn't just like a slouch team in the Bundesliga, and he scored a perfect hat trick. One with the right, one with the left, one with the head. And then they just completely win in the Champions League in convincing fashion. So they're the team to
It
beat.
wasn't actually too convincing, but they got an ugly win.
Yeah, they're the team. They're the team to beat. Goretzka's
Anywhere.
ripping his shirt.
Anywhere. The best team in the world right now, right? With no
Yeah.
disrespect to some of the teams in the Premier League like Liverpool or Chelsea, but they're just a cut above everybody, right? I feel bad for that group and anybody who has to play them later because they're just
Well,
and we said Davies, right? Alphonso Davies, quick shout out to him. He was super hot, and then he got hurt. It looks like Johnny's saying he can miss potentially up to 3 months.
I think they confirmed. Yeah.
It was an ankle injury, right?
Yep.
So hopefully he gets better, but he goes down and then comes in the record signing, right? Luca Hernandez is the record signing under this. I'm not making that up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah, that's
comes
right.
in and steps in. Things don't miss a beat because you still got Pavard in there. You still got Boateng in
Alaba.
there. You still got Alaba. So even with that,
Kimmich.
him going down, yeah, right. If worst come to worst, Kimmich can play there, and you can play Tolisso and Goretzka in the mid. Just now, I feel kind of silly, kind of doubting their depth, right? Because Coman has looked good, right? And then they got Douglas Costa back, so obviously they're probably peak hottest. I think they're as
Yeah.
hot as you can
I-
get right now.
I think
Yeah.
this was a project that was years in the making, but a lot of people weren't paying attention to all the pieces they were assembling and pieces that they have assembled. But they're primed to make kind of like a dynasty. I feel they have a lot of young players that are coming in, and I don't know. Madrid's 3 trebles or 3 Champions League looks to be under fire if they can win the next one.
Well, we talked about United getting hot after a tie with Chelsea. Well, what about Chelsea? After that tie, they came in and blasted Krasnodar in Russia 4-0. That away uniform is awful. That red and blue is just, man, it sizzles the retina. It's just not good to look
Crystal
at.
Palace, is that you?
Oh, it's awful. It's awful, bro. The way, have you seen how it's like neon? It's bright. It's just abusive on the eyes.
It's like pink.
It's
but
aggressive. Either way, they blew this team out 4-0. The goalkeeping from this Russian team was horrendous.
Yeah.
And Hudson Odoi got a goal to start off with off of a poor deflected save, and the last goal by Pulisic was off the same thing. It kind of hit off his like inner thigh and went in between his legs. Um, Again, not to knock Chelsea because they did what they had to do. Went into Eastern Europe where it's always hard to play, and they won 4-0. But I think more than anything, it's promising to see. I guess I don't know if I want to call them their front three because we don't know if that's what all their best positions are yet. But Ziyech scored his first goal for Chelsea. Pulisic scored, as I mentioned. Werner scored on a penalty. I think if Lampard gets the right mix, watch out in both the Premier League and in the Champions League. You guys disagree?
I think he's starting to figure out kind of like with all the Solskjaer, the right mix of players that will give him, stability. And I think Mendy has given them stability in the back over Kepa, so there's no worries that, your goalkeeper's going to fumble the ball and you're already down 1-0. But I think that he's also seen that players like Jorginho might not, offer as much as he used to. Um, he definitely saw a lot more with Mount playing and Pulisic, even Adoy at the same time. Um, yeah, I think he's just trying to figure out the mix, and I think moving forward, he's gonna probably figure it out. Thiago Silva, I mean, he's great. He's probably just load management, trying to be healthy for the end of the season because he's a little older. But I expect them to kind of go far in this competition.
Liverpool stays hot too. Van Dijk goes down. You worry about other injuries possibly in their squad. And they beat FC Midtjylland, which I believe is like the Norwegian champion, one of the Scandinavian countries. Um, 2-0. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but Diogo Jota stays hot. If we want to keep talking about people who are hot, since he's joined Liverpool, I think this is his third or fourth goal now. Also scores in this match, and it actually turns out to be a pretty historic goal. It's Liverpool's 10,000th goal in their history. But a little bit more concerning, Fabinho went down with an injury in this one, and he was already filling in at center back. So if this is a serious injury, we're looking at Joe Gomez and Joel Matip, right, as a starting center back pairing.
Matip is injured as well.
As well. Oh wow. Well,
They played
So
some
we have
Afro guy.
Rice Williams
Reece
is who they
Williams.
played.
Yeah,
Reece
Reece
Williams, yes.
fucking fantastic. Well, I mean, I really don't have anything else to say about the Liverpool match other than, did you guys see Shaqiri? Not only did he start, he played pretty well.
Well, the goals were decent. From Liverpool, I mean, I would count them as like lukewarm. How you said, not high or not. Same with Chelsea. I think Chelsea. I don't know if they're gonna get the mix right, but they have so much depth for all their positions. They're bound to just beat teams. But I think key for them is they need to start Pulisic, figure out where the heck they're gonna play Havertz, and have Werner as the forward and Ziyech on the right. And that's what they got to go with. I haven't still really seen form out of them. So I'll say they're lukewarm. And then,
Is Man City lukewarm?
oh, yeah, right? They're definitely not hot. They barely beat Arsenal 1-0. And then they lost or they tied in the Champions, or what happened? They tied to West Ham. That was a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
but
They tied West Ham 1-1 this last weekend. Mikel Antonio scoring a golazo. And then they bounced back by beating Marseille 3-0 in the Champions League. So while I would agree with you on the lukewarm for everybody, Johnny, and as much as I want to keep shitting on Ruben Diaz and frustrating Andres, I got to say that at least as far as the Champions League goes, the English teams are hot. They scored 14 goals combined. And do you want to know how many they gave up this Champions League matches? Zero.
Yeah. I read that.
14 plus for the English teams. So watch the hell out, I guess. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, we saw last year, right? A lot of these teams made a run.
Well, a lot of talent went to the English Premier League this season, and you're kind of seeing that in the teams as well. There's a lot of offensive firepower in all these teams, and teams that are struggling to score are probably teams like La Liga and other leagues that probably have their talent taken away from them.
All right, we'll talk about things that are starting to cool down or be not hot. So not hot. Neymar leaves a PSG Champions League match injured again, guys. PSG wins 2-0
I didn't see that.
against Istanbul.
Oh yeah.
Bashik. Oh man, it's really hard to say. Against Istanbul, we'll just call him Istanbul for right now. And yeah, what the heck is up? You guys concerned? You worried about Neymar?
I've been calling him not a flop, but I think he's definitely washed up a little bit. I don't think PSG wins anything.
He got hurt.
They're not a serious team. What's up with Neymar? This guy wears fake dreads, yo.
Well,
to-
they were
to
in the
games.
they were in the fresh
Jordan.
Air
one-
Jordan kit specific to PSG, right? Who gets the Jumpman brand soccer kits. They beat Istanbul like they should, but I
Not really. Off of 2 Keane goals. Moises Keane
Moise
goals.
Keane, who's heating up. He's got 4 goals in his last 2 matches. He's hot. He's hot. The boy's hot.
This ain't Scout Nation.
This ain't Scott. Hey, he's owned by Juventus. Was on loan to Everton, or no? They sold him to Everton, right? They
Yeah,
sold
they
him
sold
outright.
him. Yes.
And then Everton loaned him out to PSG, and now he played over the weekend, scored 2 goals, and scored 2 more this week. So I think that he definitely counts in the hot column. But I digress. Or, yeah, that's the word, right? Yeah, I digress. We were talking about who's not so hot, right? Neymar looks like he could potentially miss some time.
I think it's kind of irrelevant the games that he'll miss.
Yeah,
He'll
he
miss
stays
a RB
doing this.
Leipzig.
Stays doing this every season.
Yeah, he's gonna miss the Leipzig match for Champions, which I don't know if that one will determine the group. But I don't see PSG improving on last year's form at all, and I think that some of these star players are on the way out already. They lost their heart and soul in the defense with Thiago, so it's kind of a shell of a team.
Not even they got our boy Danilo, right?
Danilo.
As we saw today.
Is he a defender or is he a defensive mid?
I think he's a defender.
I'm not even sure, but
Pretty sure he's Portuguese.
you know who else is not hot, guys? Inter Milan. Inter Milan's not looking the best. In the Champions League last week, they were in a 2-2 draw, right? This week,
Yeah.
0-0 at Shakhtar Donetsk. No disrespect to Shakhtar because they beat Real Madrid last match day. But that group with Madrid, Shakhtar, and Inter looks like it's about to get super interesting, y'all. Yeah, they tied Gladbach 2-2, and then before
Mostly
that,
because Real Madrid might play Europa League Thursday nights starting next, next transfer window.
it's crazy.
Which-
0-0 and 2-2 is there. So they've got 2 points in the Champions League right now. What's the deal here? Is this to be concerning? Because Lukaku can't stop scoring in the league. And I guess he scored in the game previously against, or he scored against Gladbach too. Actually, he scored both of them against Gladbach. What the hell am I talking about? We want to talk about who's hot. Got to talk about Romelu Lukaku, man. And since we're talking about Italian teams and possibly cooling down, it looks like Atalanta may be cooling down. They came
they're
back.
hot for me.
Well,
Yeah.
they came back from 2 goals down against Ajax and tied it 2-2. But specifically, Duvan Zapata is hot. He had both of the goals in that game too. The big Colombian striker. So while their team, the team performances are questionable and looking, we don't know which way it can go for both of those 2 Italian teams. Individually, Duvan Zapata and Romelu Lukaku are 2 of the most dangerous strikers in Europe right now. Those guys can't stop scoring, and that's going back to last season too, right? Which sounds like it was a long time ago, but really the last season finished like a month ago, right?
I really
Lukaku
like.
has a thigh strain, by the way.
Did he pick that up during this match?
Yeah,
Damn,
so he'll probably see some time out.
that could be big for Conte there, right?
For who? Lukaku?
Yeah, he might miss the Champions League tie with Real Madrid.
Damn, I don't know, but I think Inter doesn't know really how to play sometimes, so they're gonna struggle to score. But I still think they have a decent team, but not really. Kind of looks good that Barca didn't buy Martinez because he hasn't really done anything. Lukaku has had to carry the team on his back. And Atalanta, I like their style. I like a lot of these teams like Atalanta, Lazio, Dortmund, Leeds. This like kind of like quick transition, quick like get bodies on the plays and make it happen. You know, I like these teams, and I think Atalanta's hot, and I think they're gonna make it complicated for everybody. But they're not as hot as the hottest Italian team right now, right? As
They can't
Milan.
stop winning. AC Milan hasn't lost in 22
Yeah.
now, guys. 22 or 23 straight matches. Zlatan scored again over the weekend. And it's just going from strength to strength there for Milan, right?
And they won in Europa, I think.
Yeah, they won in
3-0.
the Europa League. Well, actually, over the weekend they didn't lose, but they tied 3-3 against AS Roma, which again, shout out to you guys. The high scoring in the Italian league is crazy right now. 6 matches in between 2 historic teams there. And then yeah, they played. It was Prague, Sparta Prague. That's who they played today, right? In the Europa League, and they blew them out 3-0. They haven't lost this year, and actually Ibrahimovic didn't score today, but we had goals from Ibrahim Diaz, and Diogo Dalot, 2 players who couldn't get a game at their last club, and now are making the difference here at Milan. Milan's got a lot of outcasts there, right?
Yeah.
And now they're putting it together. Shout out to you, Johnny, for bringing them up. I almost forgot. Milan is hot. Is low-key. Milan is like the hipster team right now, right? The hipsters all across Europe and across the world are bringing their Milan jerseys back from 15 years ago. You see the 22 Kakas and the 9 Shevchenkos coming back out. Because it's been a while. It's been a rough patch for the last decade, but that's interesting to see, right? And today they played Tonali, right? The promising young
Our boy.
Italian
My boy.
midfielder, right? And they've been rotating. They've got a lot of options there now too. So keep your eye on Milan. They're now 22 or 23, somewhere in the early 20s, as far as undefeated streak. So that's
They could win the Scudetto, or do you have another team winning them? I don't have them winning it, but they're very much title favorites at this point.
look. I was very much in that Serie A is still. It's okay, so it's going to be even more competitive than
Improving?
it's ever been in the last year, because clearly Juventus is lost under Pirlo. And lost sounds harsh, but they don't got it together, right? They're not going to be dominant. I still think they can get by on individuals, right? Because they just have so much more quality, and they have just spent so much money on their squad in comparison to some of these other teams. But right now they're in 5th in Serie A. They've got 9 points. Milan's in 1st on 13th. Napoli's in 2nd. And for some reason, Sassuolo's in 3rd. Sassuolo, super under the radar. Not a team that a lot of people talk about. Not a team that we should spend too much talking about. All I'm going to say is I like the black and green stripes.
Was Napoli hot then? They're super hot, right?
Napoli is hot. Yeah.
Yeah, you see? Confirmed. Napoli is hot right now.
Keep your eye on them, because more than anything, more importantly and more relevant to us, our boy Chucky Lozano looked like he was out the door at the end of last season. It looked like Gattuso had written him off, didn't want to use him, and now he can't stop scoring over there.
Yeah.
So that's good to see. Really good to see.
Politano, too, has also been a bright spot for them on that offense. And then Insigne scored over the weekend against his brother. Both the brothers scored, which was, I guess, touching moment for them.
Yeah, pretty much historic, right? I think it's like the 3rd or 4th time that brothers have scored in the same match professionally, which is pretty cool. Pretty interesting for those nerds out there. And yeah, that kind of about wraps it up for me for Champions League, guys. Is there anything you want to add about the Champions League before we touch upon the 4 big leagues and then make our picks real quick?
I think the group with Inter Milan and Real Madrid is going to come down to their next game. So
And
whoever
that's
comes out on
Tuesday.
top is probably going to go to Europa, and someone's going to go to the next round.
And that's this Tuesday, y'all.
So
Yeah,
big
that's
game
the
to
group.
watch there.
Yeah, that's the group to keep an eye on. That like whatever you might have thought was gonna happen might not happen.
People will cry.
Yeah.
People will be disappointed.
Yeah. Maybe if you're a Madrid fan, yeah, you might cry.
But since we brought up Milan, it's a good transition. They are top of Serie A on 13 points. As we look elsewhere, Everton is atop of the Premier League, but they're tied. I thought it was hilarious that Andres was like, yeah, Everton's top of the Premier League, but if I'm not mistaken, they are tied with somebody at top of their Premier League. Actually, yes, they're tied with not a,
Okay.
their city rivals that you conveniently forgot to left out. Liverpool also has
The
13 points. I guess they're up on goal differential because they have a +5. But they finally lost, right?
mhm.
And in Germany, Red Bull, I always call them Red Bull, right? Which I guess they don't like. But RB Leipzig is in first, and they just got rocked.
Damn.
And then in La Liga, Sociedad. Real Sociedad feeling the magic effects of David Silva, I guess. And they're in first place.
But you see, not even they lost today to Napoli.
All of those 4 teams, do you guys think they're contenders? Napoli's a good team. We just put them as hot, right?
Yeah.
So you can't fault Sociedad for that.
Milan, I say Milan is a contender for the title. With Napoli right behind them, I'd say Liverpool, Everton are both contenders. Maybe. It's still too early to say because that league is wide open. But I don't know. I don't know how Liverpool is going to respond with their defensive problems up to the January window. They could drop further, or they can keep pace. What do you guys think?
I think Milan could be a contender, guys. And the other 3, I'm going to say pretenders. I think Everton tails off. Again, no disrespect. They've got some good pieces. James, again, the acquisition of the summer. He's been a revelation for them. I think they're going to start to regress a little bit eventually. And the other teams with more quality are just going to shine through, right? We're seeing Spurs. Well, maybe not in the Europa, maybe not after Europa today, but they've been devastating.
They were hot.
They were hot in the league, hotter than anybody else. And then Sociedad, I got to believe that one of the big 3 catches up to Sociedad there, right? So I give Milan the best chance, and actually not more than a best chance. They look like legit contenders. The other 3 I'm going to call pretenders right now.
Fair enough.
I'll agree with Andres. Well, both of you. I think Milan, just off their form, I mean, they look good, and you kind of want to root for them. They're like a good story to go for. But I do kind of think they're still in that same circle as Inter Milan and Juventus if they're going to be struggling, but I don't think so. They should probably still win, but they're right there with Lazio and these other teams. So I don't know that. I don't think they're really contenders, actually, I guess. I think they have to fall off of form. Same way you're saying with Everton for Milan. So I'll say both those teams. If anything, I like Everton better because they don't got to play anything besides the league, how Andres has been saying. So I think they can make top 4. Probably not, but they're going to... The English league is the hardest one to tell right now, but... so I'll say they're contenders or not? Contenders. And then what was the other team? The
Sociedad.
Oh, I think Sociedad are pretenders for sure. I think I know that last year they kind of were decent too, but I like Sevilla as I mentioned earlier and Atletico better, and I still like Madrid and Barca above them. So I think they're definitely pretenders.
Good fortune right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Quick-
I think we also have to wait for the January window. There's a lot of teams that might have taken 2 windows to kind of get their players. A lot of contract issues and stuff like that. I mean, there's already reports saying that like Luka Modric might go to like AC or Inter, since last season. So he might actually move in the winter. It might change the dynamics of the teams.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it's a little too early to call. You have to kind of wait for the windows.
But you're right. I don't know how long Liverpool can go if Fabinho was injured. How long is he injured for?
we don't know.
Do any of you know?
No
See?
confirmation.
He's not going to play internationals next month.
Well, if it's just Gomez and
See,
the
Reece?
other guy, there's no way they cannot drop points.
listen,
pretty much.
last year when Fabinho went down, we thought it was going to be worse than it actually was. Granted, at that time, Van Dijk wasn't down as well, right? So, who knows?
Well, they got
I mean-
Alisson back, which was great news.
Do
get
you guys
me?
trust Henderson in center back position if that comes down to that? Or do you write it out with Reece Williams?
I think they would ride it out with Reese Williams, but I think what I said earlier, Allison being behind them probably boosts them. He's really good, man, and you could tell in the games that he's been back now. He's a big presence in the defense at
Mhm.
goalie. So I'm still yeah no I'm still saying they're contenders. And Salah's a beast. Mana's a beast. I think they lost a
Do
big part with Van Dijk, but I don't think their whole game revolved around Van Dijk.
Yeah, no, I think that's a question mark. But like after seeing Shaqiri come in and play well, after seeing Jota come in and start to contribute right away, Minamino's improving, the Ox is coming back from injury, Keita is supposed to be coming back from injury. I think Klopp can start to count on some depth there. But again, not to I guess understate how big of a absence that both of those guys could be for them. So again, we already predicted and we knew that this season was going to be much closer than last
Mhm.
season, but it's already shaping out to look even much closer than we could even had possibly anticipated, right?
Fair, yeah. But I still
do
think
you
Liverpool plays some good football. Some of those
do you
goals were
think do you
nice.
think the 4-2-3-1 is the way forward? If he were to switch to a 4-3-3 again, is Firmino a player that you would drop
All I know is
for
Firmino,
Jota?
it looks like he's starting to heat up. It looks like he's got a goal under his
He
belt
has
now.
2 goals in 26 matches.
And well, I mean, hopefully this goal he got this past weekend at Anfield, which was kind of like a bogey for him, right? Hopefully he got the monkey off his back, and hopefully it goes. Cause Salah is in mid-season form. Salah
Yeah.
is in rare form right now. So like playing him in the 9 there in that 4-2-3-1, I didn't think was a crazy idea. Again, it's not like supposed to reinvent the wheel, and this is not something that all of a sudden you're gonna see Liverpool trying to play the 4-2-3-1 all the time. It's just an option to have in the toolbox, right? Because what Klopp has done in the last 2 years with Liverpool is just added variety to the Klopp plan, right? We know a Klopp team is always going to be physical, a lot of pressing, right? And now he's just added, just I guess I don't know what the right word is, layers to that, right? Levels. There's levels to this shit. So it's just a fallback to when he's only got a certain players at his disposal, you know?
Yeah. I think Man City is gonna keep struggling. Your boy Diaz is not settling nicely yet.
To be fair to him, I feel like he's being targeted. I feel like people know he's new to the league and they're like, yo,
Yeah, just
chuck
like
the
a
ball up to that guy.
well, it's
right?
kind of what you said. You can't just. They're just trying to plug and chug him into the defense right away, and it doesn't work like that. Like, or at least he's not as great as I thought, and that's why it's not working like that. So,
I
City,
mean, do you guys expect them to expect them to be a Virgil van Dijk type signing? I don't think so.
yeah, I think you do when you sign players for that much money. Then why are you telling me I can't compare him to Van Dyke, but they both cost elevated amounts of money?
I think when it comes to City, players or
Here we go again
agents
with this
know
one.
you can charge,
That's
enormous amount for
that's
fees
for any big team
Well,
these
like
days.
yeah,
for
like any
big
big
teams.
team,
Yeah,
right? Barcelona especially, people know they need the money, and that they just
exactly.
blew 200,
Doesn't that
got 200
doesn't
million.
necessarily mean that a player like Griezmann is worth 120 million.
No, it absolutely does not.
So, or like Pepe was worth 80 million.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think the fee justifies his quality. But he does have pedigree being international player for Portugal, and having been a big player for Benfica. He's playing well with Laporte. They had a clean sheet. I mean, I don't. It's not like he's error prone. I would trust him better there than Fernandinho.
I don't know, man. I've seen otherwise.
Yeah,
Mik-
they've
I think
dropped a
he
lot of
just
points, and they've had
I
an easy schedule.
I think as City moves along, they're gonna have stability in the back, and that's gonna just allow Gundogan to get maybe more forward positions. Rodri kind of just protect the back, what he was brought in for, and you're gonna start to see them click a little bit. Once Jesus and Aguero kind of come back, they'll round out the team. I mean, you have players like Torres playing striker, and he played decently. He's not a striker, but he played decently. Foden's having a good season. I think it's just a matter of them getting healthy.
Well, Man City plays Sheffield United this weekend, so that's why we didn't really talk about that. But this pretty much brings us to our picks for the week. Once again, with all the leagues going on and Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got some pretty good ones this weekend, guys. These aren't pretty good. I just want to mention in case anybody was interested in watching. Burnley plays Chelsea at 10 a.m. on Saturday, which is Halloween here in the States. Liverpool plays West Ham. I would say that Liverpool's got that, but West Ham just gave Man City some problems. But that might also have to do with the fact that, like Johnny and I would arguing, Man City's defense isn't as great as advertised.
West Ham doesn't have Marco or Antonio.
Mikel
Or
Antonio.
Maciel. Yeah, he's out. So I have Liverpool on that one.
Good.
The marquee matchup in the Premier League this weekend, Man United versus Arsenal on Sunday, November the 1st at 10:30 a.m. Who you guys got in that one? United's hot right now. Arsenal, not so much. Who you got, Andres? We'll start with you.
Based on form, you have to go United.
Oh, man. I was holding my breath there. I was getting ready for you to make the Arsenal pick.
Based on form, I mean, the most logical
He still
explanation
is.
is United. It seems like they found out, like Johnny said, balance in the mid and throughout the team. I kind of still have hope for Arteta, kind of showing his worth with the team, like it's going forward somehow. But his attack is kind of just stifled. He can't get Aubameyang in good positions, and I don't know. I think he's kind of have like a mental block trying to get over picking out the best players. Hopefully he gets it right, and I've seen crazier shit happen, but you guys are United based on form.
You, Johnny?
I gotta just say, free Ozil.
Straight up.
And I ain't picking Arsenal to win ever because of that. So I'm picking Man U.
Ever, because they're doing him so shiesty.
Yeah, dude.
The world needs to know what's going on.
What does Arsenal need right now? Like, some quality in the attacking mid. Well, what does Ozil bring to the game? Some quality of the finest of the utmost order to the mid. But they're not playing them, so that's why I'm saying
there's something they're not telling us, man.
Yeah, screw them.
They're not telling us something.
I think Man U should win. Rashford is in fine form. Marshall, you already know they're probably going to get a penalty, so.
Nothing too crazy in La Liga this weekend. Barcelona plays Alaves. Real Madrid plays Huesca. Yeah, exactly.
That's why
Athletic
Should
plays
be wins.
Sevilla. I think that's like the most thrilling encounter in Spain this weekend.
What is
Athletic
it?
Bilbao versus Sevilla.
Oh, okay.
Two historic teams there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nothing to get your the paces going or whatever.
The blood boiling.
Serie A, same. Nothing too crazy in Italy this weekend. Inter Milan plays Parma. AC Milan plays Udinese. Juventus plays Spezia. Never heard of Spezia. I think they just got promoted. AS Roma versus Fiorentina. AS Roma and Fiorentina in like 1999 would have been such a badass match. Fucking Batistuta versus Totti. But that's neither here nor there. The other big ones, guys, actually, let me back up a little bit. This is kind of a hipster one to pick, but an interesting one. On Monday, Leeds United plays Leicester, guys. That's a nice little matchup there.
I got Leeds.
I think I got Leeds too in that one, man.
I got Leicester. Come on, guys.
Bielsa, man. Bielsa ball, bro.
Yeah, Madison is back.
Forward all the time.
Madison is back.
I mean, I will say
And
Leeds
it's not like
has
they're
an
playing
advantage.
Arsenal.
They have an advantage because Leeds has to play, or Leicester has to play Europa.
Look, my explanation for Leicester versus Arsenal was that Jamie Vardy just destroys Arsenal all the time. It was just always, it was meant to be,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, if I had to pick, I'd go Leeds, I think. Or I want Leeds to win, and I'm just going to go with that.
Okay, so you want them to win.
Yeah.
That'd be thrilling.
No, I think Leicester has a good shot this year at the top 4 spot again. Leeds, they're new, they're exciting, but I don't think they're quite there yet.
Yeah, it kind of convinced me, but I'll still pick Leeds.
The thrilling ones this week for us, guys, are in the Champions League once again.
Ooh.
This is 3 straight weeks of Champions League football.
Yeah,
This
crazy.
is amazing.
And I'll be waking up randomly or seeing the TV screen, and it's like a Champions League game on.
Now
Crazy.
Tuesday. I'm really excited for Tuesday, guys. Well, fuck. Once again, it's election day here in the United States. But we got Real Madrid versus Inter Milan. Both of these teams kind of struggling right now in their group. Both of them, Inter with 2 points, Real Madrid with 1 point. Andres said that this is kind of be the decider to who gets to finish, who gets that second spot, right? So I guess I'll start since I've been going last. I'm gonna pick a draw for this one, guys.
What the fuck? I was gonna pick a draw.
I pick a draw for this one. I can't see either team going on top of each other unless Sergio Ramos gets a penalty. No pun intended, no joke, not even trying to be funny. Like, that's really the only thing I see happening. If you're telling me Lukaku might be out, Andres, I don't know.
He might be.
Right.
Yeah, they confirmed a muscle strain, so I think
Damn,
that pretty much confirms.
Yeah, I'm going to take a hot-ass 0-0 for this one. Maybe a 1-1, but I could see another 0-0 for Inter here.
Nah,
as much as I would want to see Madrid and Europa, I think they're going to win.
Well, I would pick them too, just off if Lukaku is not playing. No one else has done anything on that Inter team so far.
Sanchez is also out. I mean, Lautaro, I don't know if he can pull it by himself. Barella right behind him. Vidal, yeah. Madrid might have a boost with Hazard, I feel.
Yeah, I'll go Madrid too.
All right, to Madrid. I'm still going to pick the draw. And then the other big one on Tuesday. This one should be exciting. A meeting of attacking styles. Atalanta versus Liverpool.
Ooh. See, that game gets me super excited.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
You could tell both teams are going to like go all out. Nothing funky besides trying to let the football talk. I think
all attacking all the time.
I'll pick Atalanta to win that.
Oof.
I think. Yeah.
Damn.
It should be thrilling. I'm expecting like a 3-3, something crazy. Like, I'm expecting a lot of goals. So, I don't know. They better deliver. And
I got
I've been hyping
Liverpool
up
winning.
Atalanta.
I got Liverpool winning.
That's what I like to hear.
Man, you throw me a curveball every once in a while on this. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. I got to see. Man, if Fabinho's out, Atalanta's totally
Atalanta had. I mean, they were a little tired last season when they played like PSG and teams like that. But when you have quality up top like Salah, Mane, Trent, I mean, I feel like those guys are going to come up big against a team like that.
Fuck it, you convinced me. Liverpool. You just can't stop them. You just can't stop them. I don't know why,
Klopp
guys.
says anything, but he can't see anything besides the semifinals this season. So
I don't know why, but the sight of seeing Sheridan Shaqiri playing football and playing it well again, I something about that is just a good omen for me. But yeah, that about wraps it up. The Wednesday matches aren't so exciting, guys. We got Barcelona versus Dinamo Kiev. We've got Chelsea versus Stade Rennes. Not a whole lot going on Wednesday. I guess the highlight is Leipzig versus PSG. And honestly, that's a toss-up. No Neymar. Leipzig just gave up 5 to United. I don't know which way to call that one, honestly, if we really sat down and talked about it.
Leipzig gets revenge. I get Leipzig.
Leipzig bounces back against PSG.
Yeah.
You think so, Johnny?
Who won it for them last year for PSG? Wasn't it Neymar?
Yeah.
Or Mbappe?
No, it was definitely not none of them. It was our guy at Bayern. Right?
Oh, Moting?
Yeah.
Choupo-Moting, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's why PSG's on the not hot list. Because Mbappe has not been hot.
So Leipzig. I'll pick Leipzig then.
But I'll go a draw on that. I mean, or no, I won't. I don't think Leipzig this year, they kind of proven they're not in fine form, but PSG should be better than that. I'll go PSG for no reason. whatsoever. Besides that, I don't want to pick RB Leipzig.
I'm gonna go RB because I can't.
Hated team.
I'm gonna go RB because PSG is just. Other than the run they made to this final last time, they just don't ever convince me in the Champions League because they play in League One. So what can I say? But yeah, that wraps it up for this week, guys. Thank you for hanging in there with us. As usual, a lot to go on, a lot to talk about. But big shout out to Rafa and the Full Heel Network for letting us do it here in studio, letting us do this again. Thank you to Andres for joining us on the Skype. Thanks, Johnny, for joining me as usual. Big shout out to everybody who clicked in at any point. Once again, don't forget to hit subscribe on the network. Hit a like on the video. Let us know what you think. Give us your thoughts on your favorite team, on your favorite league, on the champions.
Who's hot and who's not.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know who you think is hot, who's not. And then tune in same time next week. And we'll come in with at you with the latest Champions League results. Hopefully, given after the election, we're not in some like post-apocalyptic riot world where packs of ravenous dogs are roaming the streets and shit like that.
Like the movie? What's that movie? The
Martial law, you mean?
Yeah, martial law, right?
The Purge. I was gonna say the Purge.
But yeah, thanks once again, guys. Have a good night. Watch some football this weekend, and be safe. Peace out.
Go vote.